Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are praying for no internet deaths. So we're just gonna jump straight into it. We had a beautiful game one. I watched this a very, very long time ago. Very long time ago. I think Yagao is underrated, yes. Let's just finish the draft and then continue. Okay, there it is. Fucking madman. We don't like this, bro. Okay. Alright, let's begin. Caitlyn blue side ban, Quinn, Set. Set removed after the first game, Quinn for the Renekton. Because 369, I assume his prior on Renekton is less, that's why they are doing this. Not entirely certain. Why is my pen so thin? Caitlyn blue side ban, a bit strange. Ashe first pick. I like Ashe first pick. Renekton Ornn, Twisted Fate out, continuing down the same line as before. I think they were probably not happy with the Cannon into Renekton matchup because Renekton was actually winning that. Especially when you're red side, the amount of blind picks that you can do on blue side is definitely really, really slim. So Ashe first pick, continued by Zoe. Yagao is a great Zoe, but so is Knight, so they lock it in. Graves Prio, locking in Graves. It is once again one of those Kanavi champions, but you can't really steal away Nidalee because Zoe Nidalee is absolute garbage tier. It locks you into too heavy AP and the 2v2 mid is too weak. You need to have synergy, and these two have synergy. Zoe can play for Prio and can play for Graves, and Graves can invade and do nasty things. That's what's so beautiful about this best of 5, that Karsa played the Kanavi way of playing the game. So I think that's super nice. Nidalee Lucian gets locked in, which is very, very good. Lucian is premium together with Nidalee. This is going to be a wild 2v2 mid already, right? This is explosions. Who is better off? I think it completely depends on how many Summoner Zoe loots and the angles that Graves comes in, item spikes. This is going to be a massive clash. You know, I think there is ways for both sides to outplay. I'm trying to figure out why my pen size is... Oh, this was too big. This seems about right, yeah. Okay. So I like the first 3 picks. I would say blue is slightly better, but with these top lane bans happening in first 3 and you are just slightly better on blue in 1, 2, 3 because of the Caitlyn ban, I would say that Toby's has room to consolidate on 4-5. You can ban supports into pick support, and then of course counter pick top. And then blind picking top is tricky here. It's tricky. Jax gets banned. I thought they're going Morde, but he went for Camille. And then after they picked Camille, I thought they would go Morde here. It seemed natural for Morde to show up here. Good into Camille, durable against the ganks that Camille and Nidalee can set up. Fiora gets locked in, which can be considered a slight counter to Camille, but I think it's still a very, very heavy skill matchup. And just because it's a skill matchup, I'm favoring Zoom here. And also on top of that, Camille has the better jungle for the 2v2 top. Nidalee Camille is better than Fiora and Graves. Fiora and Graves, I don't think should be in the same game. I mean, in the same team at least. Okay, let's hop into it. Mid 2v2 explosions. Another Pringles attack. Sorry. One last Pringles. Let me take a step back. I just want to check if Leona and Ash leashed. Both sides actually leashed. Already used W. I think Zoom should be slightly stronger with Camille because of grasp early. But I'm not really sure. I'm not speaking on this matchup with complete confidence. All I know is it's a very, very heavy skill matchup, but Fiora is favored. Here comes the Nidalee. Graves was showing on mid, so it makes it even easier. Yeah, it's a disaster in many ways, because he burned flash and the wave position is very awkward. At least Karsa picks up the crab. Deja vu, I've been in this place before. Good move by Kanavi. Why is the village trash now? Because he's been nerfed many times and he had some issues that were natural to him always. So with those nerfs, he's not that absurdly OP that he was like strong in every scenario because of it, you know. Yaga already has no cleanse, so Nai is doing bits in this lane. Already he's ahead of one Biscuit and one Corrupting, so Knight is playing super well, but Karsa did indeed do a drive-by and Nidalee did show on mid, on top. So yeah, tempo-wise, Kanavi, even though he's behind on CS, he has a base advantage. And Graves is going to kill his second rotation of golems, but he's going to realize that they're gone, so Karsa is wasting time here. He should have done the Raptors into base, but this is tough to know, right? Very tough to know. Karsa should hover behind, like, the reason why the base was so important for Graves was because he needed to base and hover behind mid. But they don't know Graves' position, so it's also okay. Very strange lantern placement here. Oh, forgive me, I forgot to move the camera. Forgive me, guys. Yeah, this lantern was a bit troll. I don't think Thresh is a counter to Leona, but this was a bit too much. Like, Thresh is just kind of sleeping. Like, he's just hooking like this. Yeah, look at the item gap in mid. We were talking about how explosive the mid 2v2 is going to be, but the item gap in mid is going to be rough. Also, Lucian and Nidalee don't have like the craziest synergy because there's no CC. Thresh is a counter to Leona if you're really in the zone with good reaction speed. It's not. It's not a counter. Like even if you flay the E of Leona, it's not considered a counter anymore. Leona has ways to play this matchup. Bro, just use adblock. I don't care about the loss of revenue. Nidalee with the skill up top, just like always. Just like always. Gets a kill, and then boom, AP jungle item is humongous. But state of the lanes is good for top esports. Like considering Fiora died, she's in a fine state. She managed to get a base off with an item disadvantage into Sheen. Then she has a Vampiric Scepter. Like she's very, very happy up top right now. Good CS condition. Zika's argument in mid now, almost fully stacked. It's gonna hurt the mana a little bit by night. Look at Kanavi's move here though. I don't think like people underestimate how much Blade actually gives you on Lucian. Like you going Manamune, you will never have kill pressure on Zoe ever again, unless you reach like 3 items. Like it's incredibly hard. Here, I wonder if this is just a mistake from top esports here, because they're giving up their full bottom side. The amount of clarity in JDG's decision making here is fucking strong. Manamune is like infinite mana. Who fucking cares, man? Blade won't give him kill pressure in this matchup either. Yes, it will. Like when you have Nidalee jungle, you can't base on fucking tier. No summons from before. Yeah, I don't like the fact that they give up their full bottom side jungle here. I think, especially when Zika's Armguard is bottom mid, it's absolutely wild. Like it needs the mana from the blue. Like going for the Rift Herald play here, I think is the wrong decision. It's just the wrong timing of it all. And I'm wondering if JDG just straight up predicted that this would be the play. Because your bot lane has no summoners, and you're dividing the map, and you're giving 3 jungle camps to the Nidalee. It's a bit too much. And there we go. There's no flash, but Jujanja is too good. Well, Manamune got buffed. They gave it 10 more AD, I believe, or 5 more AD some time ago. And then Presence of Mind got changed, Mana Flow banned, Biscuits. There's so many things that give you actual mana. And Manamune is so fucking cheap. It's fully stacked as one of the most cost-efficient items in the game. Like, if you buy Manamune and it gets fully stacked, then it's unbelievably OP. It's the same for any tier item. Well, I'll change your staff as well. Ooh, juicy for Kanavi. Juicy for Kanavi. Gets the kill on bottom side, and this was a Kanavi clinic this game. Considering he lost the crab, took the golems, and Karsa paid the price by losing tempo, it's super wild. Manamune is like 500 gold cheaper than Seraph too, but keep in mind Seraph also gives you cooldown, so... Yeah, Kanavi is really, really good. This was a beautiful game by Kanavi so far. Super, super nice. Why does Ash and Leona have so shit tempo here? I think Ash actually fucked up her base. Because she gets cancelled by Jin W. She gets cancelled by Jin W, and Topis was actually recover really, really, really well here. It wasn't really a comparison. It was more about like both these items are very, very cost efficient. Very, very cost efficient. Yeah, and now Ash gets her base off finally, but Jin is already in the lane and pushing. That W cancel of Jin was huge. It was really, really fucking massive. It was legit like a 500 gold plus W from Jin. Because now they also get the turret low enough to fucking drop the herald and break almost completely the full tower. It's nuts. Beautiful hook, absolutely nuts this hook. Look at this hook. Boom. Very nice. But Reckless doesn't play risk averse. And just because you play smart doesn't mean you play risk averse. There are players in NA that play risk averse. The description fits for a lot of NA players. Absolutely nutty, man. Zero zero Jin 26 minutes. Well, if you want to make stats based analysis, then good luck in your life. If you look at that game and you realize how well he actually played and how much Fnatic just ran it down. It's like, just because one player is insanely consistent and insanely knowledgeable about what he can and cannot do, he's afraid of risk. So Reckless needs to int a bit to make you convince. To looking back at the situation, Knight dominating mid matters so much, and then the W of to cancel Ash base was also so fucking huge. It was really, really monstrous. It really, really made a big difference. And then Zoe having prio mid could just rotate him in the mid lane. Just to rehash the question, the Manamune discussion of Lucian. Like if Zoe gets prior with the full game because of Manamune, like a team like Top Esports is going to win the game off of that. You need to be able to compete. It's very different if you play against an Azir. They maybe will be filmed this week. Probably released on Wednesday next week. Well, they literally saw him. They literally saw him. Yeah. Like this game state should be completely game over. Fiora has gone over any hurdles. The 2v2 of topside is no longer relevant. The state of Jhin, Zoe is monstrous. Like Zoe is absurdly strong now. Stormrazor IE first item for Jhin, which is better. Stormrazor is more convenient, but I think damage-wise IE is better. Yeah, the Jhin W was crazy mid Master 9000. Really good. Like, not that it was like insanely hard to do, but the amount of impact it had was absolutely nuts. And then of course Nidalee fucking trying to kill the Rift Herald was really troll. I don't know why he was trying to. That lined up the Thresh hook, he died, and then Zoe roamed into bottom, and then, you know, the game is in a disastrous position. Luckily though, JDG took one mountain, so that's helpful in giving them chances to delay the game, but delaying the game right now with itemization and so forth is tricky, it's hard. Fiora is going to scale on side, he's going to be super happy. Yagao has no TP, so he can't match Fiora. 369 is inting a little bit, but all is good. Doesn't matter. Beautiful dive. No inting here, no inting here. I don't have the liberty to disclose anything in regards to the World Championship. I'm just gonna shy away from the topic because I have info I can't share, so it's better to just not talk about it. Look at that fizzy bubble up. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, this is beautifully played. Swifties are good on Jhin because his synergy with attack speed is not like crazy. And on top of that, when he crits, he gains a percentage move speed buff. And the higher move speed you have, the better that buff is. It's also cheap, and Jhin as a champion, move speed is just a really feel good stat, you know? Move speed increases the range of your ult attacks in a way. Stopwatch is so OP, guys. I don't think JDG had a reason to commit here. They already took control over the Drake space and is spawning in 25. Faker played today as if he wanted to win. I think JDG could have just stuck around the Drake here and not commit onto anything, but the stopwatch was very, very juicy. Something that Lemao is so good at is just the way he forces fights and the way he finds fights. He did the same last game. It's a really, really good clarity on how to find fights. The reason I say this is because I'm trying to make very clear opinions on players coming into the World Championship and sharing my thoughts. Kanavi is kind of hinting here, but wow. Not sure what Kanavi was doing here, honestly. Wow. Like, Cutlass is very strong on Lucian. Very strong item on Lucian. Like, you Cutlass and then you ult, you're going to hit the entire thing guaranteed. Like, it's very strong. The item path for it is also very, very easy to come by. You can get long swords and you can be super, super happy. There's a lot of points of strength for this item. Vampiric Scepter base is super strong for Lucian. Double Longsword base is super strong for Lucian. Cutlass base is strong for Lucian. After Cutlass you get some daggers, also strong for Lucian. The entire process of buying Blade is just a bunch of points where Lucian will be strong in the lane phase. You're not buying Bork because the enemy is itemizing HP, that's not the thought. Bork is for all of those points of strength. When you finish 2 items, in almost 90% of the cases, having a different item than Bork is just better. But you're not buying it for the 2 item spike, that's not the thought process. If we compare the scaling, it's just so hard to be as efficient as a Leona, as a Thresh. And the condition of Nidalee in this game is super strong. Even though Top East was ahead in gold, look at the power levels of Lucian and Nidalee currently. I just want to open items. Because Nidalee is so strong here. He's 1 level ahead of Karsa. Ashe is weaker than Jhin. But if top esports don't get engaged on during these periods, I feel like Fiora could be able to take over the game. I don't know why Fiora is giving up so much prio on bottom side now. I don't know why he's... Because now Camille TPs, Fiora is not in good position. They are just contesting the wrong space. Fiora is very awkward to play in the current meta because you want to buy time, you want to split, but it's kind of hard to do in a lot of cases. But obviously if top esports have Fiora on the team, they shouldn't actually like step into river. I just don't like Fiora as a champion, honestly. It takes so much effort to actually win games with Fiora. Like, she can win lanes, but winning games with Fiora is tough. And snowballing with Fiora is also very tough. And that's fucking Nash. JDG was 4k gold behind, and then yeah, Camilla's way better in teamfights than Fiora is, for sure. Why is my phone talking? Yeah, it's like Fiora's gameplay is too one-dimensional. And the point where she's going to dive Camille is so late. Not sure what Loken is doing out here, man. Loken is really smoking some good kush here. Like, they just need to clear out the midway first and then take over the right space. He has no reason to push down here. Because keep in mind, after JDG finished Nash, they got pushed out of their own space. And then, of course, they were behind on tempo. And to recover tempo, you need to go through mid there and give up the bottom wave. But if this is the outcome, then yeah, of course you're fucking happy. But who fucking predicts the future this well? You know, it's like Loken in comms is like, okay, guys, so I'm gonna walk down the bottom wave, and then they're gonna fucking gank me, and then I'm gonna die, and then you guys are just gonna clean up because they're going to overextend. I feel it in my bones, my head and knees and toes. You know, it's not necessarily the case. Like here, if they had the clarity to just pass up on the juicy Leona, they could have easily kind of backed up here. Like they had the opportunity to back up, but they just didn't. Oh, he cancelled one auto, Yago. Choked a little bit. And the awkwardness of this for top esports is the fact that, you know, now Essence Reef is going to be both Evolution, the 2 core is going to be finished on Camille, and the gold advantage becomes smaller. Next Drake is spawning, and this will line us up for the Ocean Soul. Some like the display of mechanics in this fight alone is absolutely beautiful. Very beautiful display of mechanics. Look at the Leona sidestep here. Look at Karsa movement, man. Absolutely crazy. And Jackalov is kind of hard hinting. And then Yagao had the call of the ages. Why is Fiora not taking their entire base while her team is running it down? It takes time. It takes time. It takes time. Like, you can't just say, I'm gonna split push and now I am at the front door. Like, obviously, guys, top esports could have played it a lot better. They didn't play for the condition of playing for Fiora because they were very, very far ahead. But They played for this condition very poorly. This is in no shape or form like a good example of why Fiora is bad. Fiora is... like in this game, she had condition to actually win the game. In this game. Because I think top esports could actually hold, but they weren't playing with the intent to hold. They were playing with the intent to contest space. Hylissang is really, really good. It's incredibly difficult to be effective as a support when the level of team play is terrible. Is Chinese solo queue good? It's better than US, for sure. Better than US. Chinese super server is honestly quite fucking neat. I really like Chinese super server. Tabi is so juicy here. Shouldn't Graves go full lethality here? It's kind of awkward because keep in mind they have only one AP, so the incentive to buy armor is high. And also there's a Leona. It's hard for Graves to pass a Leona. Or like a Nidalee that's going to buy Zika's arm guard. The items of Camille Fiora are pretty much mirrored. Like Black Cleaver is not a bad purchase here for Karsa. I've played on the Chinese super server. Yes, this review will be indeed on YouTube. Zerkers on Graves are just trolling. No, it's not too bad. Not too bad. But Tabis are pretty good here. Why is it called Super Server? Because only the best players are allowed. Is home field advantage really an advantage if there are no crowds during the game? No one gives a fuck about crowds. Let me tell you that much. Crowds don't matter. No offense. Like, doesn't matter what language that crowd is speaking. Like for some, they feel patriotic and they feel some extra bursts, like they owe it something to the crowd. Sure, it can happen, sure. It's not completely useless. But it's more about the fact that, you know what, the amount of money the LPL teams have, and the LPL has, and Tencent has, and they will do everything in their power making sure that the 4 representatives of the LPL are as comfortable as fucking possible. I can bet my soul that these, like, the players are gonna have hotel rooms in this hotel, while the LPL players are gonna be in suites, man. They're gonna be in suites. They're gonna be fucking getting massages. They're gonna get fucking the best food possible. They don't need to acclimate to anything at all. Maybe they don't even need to quarantine because they're already in the country. There's many things that speak to the benefit of being in the LPL, bro. LPL is a Chinese league, and they're playing in China. Yeah, pros will play on this Chinese super server. Maybe in Korea, but I doubt it. I think Chinese super server is good enough to play on. There's no reason to go into Korea. You just play on the low ping. It's juicy. It's very juicy. Zoe is very strong. Ashe has no IE. This could be a little window where top esports are actually stronger. Fiora should spend less time fucking around with the team. It just seems like top esports are not comfortable at all in playing a split push game because Fiora's grouping. Fiora's grouping when the wave on bottom like could be pushed in and all the way already. Baron is up and Fiora could be pressuring, but top esports is trolling. 369 needs to be bottom. I don't know why he's chilling around here. Look at the filet mignons, man. Look at the filet mignons in the bot lane. The filet mignons. The mignons. No, no, Fiora. Fiora. Camille doesn't need to, because Camille loses to Fiora. Camille being grouped here is fine. It's fine. And now we have the climax. The Drake is on and Fiora has no pressure and the Ocean Soul is taken. They're grouping up, the Ocean Soul is on and the game is over. So this is why split push composition most of the time are tricky to pull off, because like we're 28 minutes in. We're 28 minutes into the game, right? 28 minutes into the game and 5 fucking Drakes are already taken. This is why people avoid split push compositions, because it's so easy to force situations where the team is grouped. But Fiora did have opportunities to cause damage here. She definitely had opportunities to cause damage, but it's not something you want to draft yourself into, because it's just it's dangerous. Okay, JDG, the enemy's on the hunt. Well, the music is perfect. Not shabby. But can top esports finish the game on one Ashe? That's the question. 369 still has his goddamn TP, so maybe he can get some action going for himself with his Baron. Yeah, 369 still has TP. But he needs to buy, what's it called? Culling. Executioner's... What the fuck is it called? The Executioner's Calling. Yeah, Jesus. Why did I forget that name? I wonder if JDG could just get away. Obviously they have no business even trying to contest or move in any space. Not sure why this game Knight didn't go for Oblivion Orb. This is 100% Oblivion Orb game. Oblivion Orb would be really juicy. Outscale in every lane, it's arguable. Like, I would still prefer a Camille in a team fight over a Fiora. Like, I wouldn't say it's as one-sided as you're trying to make it out to be. Like, Ashe doesn't scale poorly either. Lucian doesn't scale that poorly either. It's just this case Zoe scales extra well because she's the only AP on her team, but she needed to have an Oblivion Orb, but then she would fucking crack heads. Why Oblivion Orb? Because there's not a single... There's so little magic resistance on the enemy team. I would have gone for it. Oof. Graze and Fiora Giga outscale the enemy jungle and top? No. You think Camille ever gets Giga outscaled in a game? It's like saying they want to accomplish completely different things. They want to accomplish very different things. Fiora wins Camille, but how much does that matter? Camille is still scales better in teamfights than Fiora does. You need to keep this in mind. They are doing two different things. You're comparing a fucking car to a microwave. You know? It's like saying, yeah, this car goes way faster than your fucking microwave. They want to do completely different things. You know, they want to do completely different things. And Nidalee, her scaling is always in contrast to everything else. Like here in this game, this Graves bought the QSS because he's worried about the Leona and Ashe. So his scaling becomes worse. It's very important. Like Nidalee E can really put champions to steroids. On steroids, I mean. It's not that simple to say Graves wins against Nidalee in a 1v1 tournament. I'm not even sure if he wins 1v1 right now. Fiora beats Camille in the side lane. Well, Camille doesn't have to be in the side lane always, right? Elder Drake is spawning, and then the conditions of the game are completely different. It's always in contrast with everything else in the game. You can only define a champion's scaling within the game. There are games where Kassadin scales bad. The moment you realize there are games where Kassadin scales bad, you'll understand something. It's always your scaling is defined by the context of the game. Because champions want to do different things. Interactions are very different. Like if I'm Kassadin and I'm playing against Ornn, Camille, Sejuani, and then I don't know. Then it's very hard. Scaling is very relative to the situation of the game. Here, Graves for being forced to buy QSS and Nidalee itemizing armor very easily because the enemy is very heavy on AD and don't have a support that is, you know, that great in terms of forcing Mercury buys. Then Nidalee's scaling is going to shift. It's the same last game, right? Sett had freedom to buy some Fire Cape and a lot of armor. He scales pretty good in that game. I don't think they Giga outscale. I think it's not true. Ocean Soul is not that crazy good in this game, but the fact that they don't have any healing reduction at this point in the game is very bad. Because there is a shit ton of lifesteal and healing regardless of Ocean Soul. Like Nidalee heal, Camille has double lifesteal items. The fact that there's no healing reduction in this game is absolutely nuts. I think this is prestige illusion. Jakilov got smacked on the forehead. Another reason why I think like in terms of scaling, very often people don't think about supports. I think Leona scales better than Thresh. Leona is a champion that forces itemization out of people. Forces itemization, is incredibly durable and has very strong spells, low cooldown on ult. But of course the context matters. The context matters. If Thresh Lantern makes an AD carry that is... Like if you have an AD carry that scales in... Let's say you have Jinx, right? Then Thresh Lantern makes him insanely valuable. But in this case, Jhin, in contrast to Ashe, the difference there is pretty small, right? Leona is not paper and late. Thresh has armor scaling, but every champion has armor scaling. Lucian mid does not have Black Cleaver. I don't know what you're looking at, my friend. Yeah, Thresh passive is infinite armor scaling, but how often do you see games where, you know, where that matters? Like, I've never seen a game where it's like, holy shit, guys, this game is fucking over. Thresh has 200 souls, Pog. You know, I've never seen that. I've never seen that. This Leona's fucking sturdy, man. Look at this Leona. Like, of course, guys, there are situations where Lantern compensates for... Like, there are situations where Lantern alone makes Thresh scale well. This is one of those cases where it doesn't. Ashe, Leona are so strong because they force itemization. JDG don't have the most effective itemization in terms of, you know, items that are powerful. Let's take a look at Fiora in this fight. 369 goes, he fights, and he's very, very deep. As you can see, he doesn't have the power to even kill the Fiora. I mean, the Nidalee rather quickly here. And then obviously he's very hard committed. And then now Fiora, after her W, tends to be very... Like, look at Camille damage, okay? Like, I think it's lost for some people how crazy Camille scales. Like, Camille scales crazy, crazy fucked up. I think Camille definitely belongs in the list of champions that scale the best in the game. But yeah, obviously this is not a great fight from Top Esports. Like, the way it starts is awful. There's a lot of things that are awful. No, but keep in mind, Little Bird 1, I'm not making these comments based off of only what I'm seeing in this game. This is years of experience and knowledge. Fiora is better than Camille in split push situations. Fiora can fight when she is really ahead of the curve. Like, when Fiora is really ahead of the curve, she can 1v9 some fights. We saw Khan do it with FPX, you know? Definitely. Like, if Fiora is ahead of the curve and she can flow in a way where her lifesteal gives her too much value, then for sure. But that is, in a lot of cases, unrealistic. It's just unrealistic for me to view it that way. Yeah, completely. I completely agree. This fight is terrible. Like this fight is terrible. They have no reason to walk into this space. Like why are they? They should just keep this. This is theirs. Camille is much less variance for irrelevancy. Yes. Yeah, just Jin, no cleanse, is just sniffing flowers. They are calling to go, but they can't. They can't catch up. Like, there's no way to catch up, and they are moving into space. Like, a rule of thumb is never try to force fights that rely on the enemy of fucking up. You know? Because this is what this looks like. You know? Jax is still the best scaling fighter. Maybe, but I just Camille is OP. Now this was just a troll way to start a fight for top esports. There's nothing else to add it. Yeah. Like burning the Leona here is definitely the right call. I don't know what 369 is doing. Like if they burn the Leona here, get the ult off, that's fair. That's a good assessment there. Tarkuste Visig. No. Cho'Gath doesn't scale well. He gets fucking destroyed by all of these three champions, actually. Jax, Camille, Fiora all eat food. I feel like there are fights where Fiora 1v9s because everything falls into place, right? She has a lot of lifesteal and can delay fights, and naturally, like if everything falls into place, it looks absurdly OP. But I think that's incredibly rare at the highest level of play. This game, even though we've been discussing Camille and Fiora so much, this was a good opportunity for Fiora to carry. This was indeed a good chance for Fiora to carry in this game, for sure. Like this game, top esports was super far ahead, but they had no patience at all. They fought around the Drakes wrong, and they gave JDG just too many dragons. So I think this was definitely winnable for top esports because they were so far ahead on, of course, the goddamn Zoe. Yeah. I'm with you on that. I think Fiora had chances. Who do you see as world champs this year? Honestly, it's hard. Because even though everyone's high on top esports after this series, I feel like I can't help but feel that JDG have more to show. You know? Which region is gonna win? Like if you want to put money on something, you just fucking go LPL. It's a crazy game state because it's like 2 inhibs are still open, but just because like it's they can't really use the top esports at all. Poppy is fine against Camille, but it's not that big of a hard counter. I love this as well from JDG. When I was seeing this, I loved this. They just fucking are very, very aware of their power levels and what they can and cannot do, and the way they force this ending, beautiful. Yeah, Graves got fucking snapped, man. Look how he got snapped. Boom. Boom. Ussa. He snapped him in half, man. Yeah, top esports looked very sloppy in this game. I think Ocean Soul is not that OP in this game. The Grievous Wound just came too late, and top esports definitely could have won this game. Definitely could have won this game. 100% could have won this game. There's no doubt about it. Just to summarize, top esports in these cases need to just recognize what space they need to contest and what not. They need to play blue trinkets. They need to give Fiora space to do a lot more, and they just didn't do that. This was very sloppy. Top esports is the new IG. That's what they are. They are the new IG. They are winning games through the sheer power of their individual ability. This game could have been comfy. Yeah. This game could have been comfy. Thing is though, obviously the power levels of the lanes is a bit shifted and a bit different. Zoom, I think coming into the World Championship, probably the best top laner in the world. I think Wunder right below him, and then Nuguri. That would be probably my ranking. I have to think about it more. Yagao, I think he's very similar to Doinby, but better mechanically and plays meta champions in the way Kanavi plays. I think Loken has gone under the radar for a lot of people. Going under the radar for a lot of people. A lot of fucking people. But Loken should be in the conversation for the best AD carry in the world. For sure, he should be in the conversation. Loken is really, really fucking good. Really, really, really good. Like, really, really good. Jackie Love is also really, really good. Really fucking insane. Loken, Jackie Love, Ruler, I think these are the top 3 AD carries at the World Championship. Have Sandbox scrimmed in LPL teams. We scrimmed top esports. And I was not so impressed by Knight in that particular scrim day. I was impressed by Jackie Love, and I was impressed by Karsa. But we only played them one day. Deft opinion, I felt like he is very good, but he doesn't have the same level of consistency as the others. He can definitely compete with these guys, and I will be confident in Deft to not be a liability. But yeah. Top 5 mid-world. In no particular order, I think Caps, Knight. Caps, Knight. I think Xie also goes under the radar. Xie and Yagao are great mid laners. I think Chovy. Like if I have to make a top 5, I would put Chovy, Knight, Caps. These 3 have to be in there, for sure. Have to be in there. 4, 5. I think it's a discussion. I think YamatoCannon together are absolutely crazy. Absolutely, like really, really fucking good. But I think now Showmark is fucking good. He's fucking good. He showed a lot more than Xie and Yagao, I think. Showmark belongs there too. Showmaker belongs there. How good you are with your jungler definitely matters. Like there's an argument for how that Chovy is a better mid laner than Showmaker, but Showmaker and Canyon are miles ahead, of the other of Pioshik and Chovy. Caps is in top 5 mids. I think he is. Rookie is not at Worlds. Björk speaker Pog. Best mid jungle duo is Karsa Knight. Second, I would put Yagao Kanavi. Third, I would put YamatoCannon. Broken Blade opinion, please. I think Western top laners are gonna have a really fucking hard time at this tournament. I think Wunder can compete, but everyone else, like maybe Bippo can compete. .369 is not a Western top laner. Bippo on the right champions? Bippo on the right champions can compete. Like, guys, the other top laners that Europe is sending is Orome and Finn. Orome and Finn. So imagine how hard... Okay, so imagine how hard Finn got slapped by Wunder. Okay? Imagine how hard he got slapped. Finn slapped Orome. What does that make of our opinion of Orome? And then if we go across the pond, we have Impact. We have Impact, Solo, and Broken Blade. Right? I think Broken Blade and Impact on the right champions can be okay. Can be okay on the right champions. I think Rogue have a lot of potential at this tournament. But we're going to end the video right there. Boom.